Tessa from MamasGeeky here. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel. Hey ladies, thanks for taking the time today. Both of your characters are like committing these crimes, yet both like so relatable and lovable. Can you talk about like being able to create that dynamic?
Yeah, I think when you start a script out with some sympathetic facts about someone, and you see that they are innately good, and then you give them someone around them that they treat well, like our relationship is admirable. It's like you can tell that Connie loves Jojo and Jojo loves Connie. By minute 20, you can let them do anything, and people will root for them.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think that's the basis. That's why you root for them, is because you see that they are doing something that is beyond themselves. And I think we can all relate to that. When you are trying your best, not just for you, it's not about centering yourself, it's about improving the lives not only of yourself, but of the people around you.
So you two have a great friendship and connection in this movie. If you could describe that friendship in one word, what would it be?
Trust.
Supportive. Yeah.
So I really enjoyed the film. It was hilarious. I wanted to know, what was your favorite part during the taping, either behind the scenes or something that actually made it into the movie?
Actually, do you know what one of my favorite parts that I forgot was when a big chunk of the scene got cut out, but was the sushi restaurant, and we just could sit and eat sushi that night. That was very fun.
Yes. Well, look, it sincerely is hard to pick a moment, because being on set with Kirby, because we're actually friends, every moment is kind of fun. Like, there weren't like a bunch of dull parts because you're getting to hang out with a real friend. But like, I think I particularly liked, we'd been shooting the movie for a few weeks. We knew what our dynamic was. We like working together. We're passing the ball, trying to make it as funny, as real as possible. Enter Bebe Rexha, who changes the comedic dynamic completely, because all of the sudden she's the tech expert we go to, helping us move our money, and we are like these little idiots who are asking her questions, and we were able to find like funny improvs, and just the dynamic shift happened, because prior to that we were sort of ping-ponging, figuring out like, okay, who's going to be the straight person in the scene and who's going to have the goofy moment, because you kind of have to balance it if you're going to stay grounded. But when those scenes with Bebe was really fun, because we could both sort of just be goofballs.
Yeah. She was the voice of reason.
Hello. I was just wondering, for each one of you, is there a part of your character that you identify with in real life?
Oh, wow. I mean, at moments, sure. But in different ways, I think. It's hard for me to say, because I didn't struggle with infertility, but man, have I spent moments of my life imagining what it might be like, and having an intense amount of empathy for women that struggle with it. And then thinking, gosh, we should be talking more about that. I should ask my friends if everything's okay, if they're struggling with infertility, like all those kinds of things. And then I am obviously not in a marriage that makes me feel completely stunted, but I do relate to Connie in the idea that I didn't grow up with much financial education. I mean, I think I did, but when you enter into adulthood, we should be educating kids very, very differently about savings and money and investments, especially girls. Because that example of she can't get out of this marriage until she's got herself together is all too true for so many women.
I'd love to know, what do you hope women watching will learn or get from this film?
You said it so brilliantly in the other interview.
About the chosen family?
Chosen family, and then accomplishing your dreams.
Oh, yeah. Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you for reminding me. I would say, as Kristen has perfectly reminded me, well, I would say that what I hope women take away from it is the idea that even if you feel like you have been discounted or discarded, you having the opportunity and seeing that you can take your sort of destiny in your own hands. You can take your life into your own hands. And if you were dealt a certain set of cards, you have the ability to change it. I think you just have to have the confidence to know that is within you, that you can sort of strive for better, that you deserve better, and that you can get the things that you want and get the things that you need. I don't know if I said it as well.
Yeah, you did. Well, and also she had said before, and you can do that with chosen family. Like, don't be afraid of chosen family. Don't feel stunted by the people around you. Like, that it's something that's huge in my life, and it's big in Jojo and Connie's life, and with chosen family and the sort of inner strength, you really can accomplish your dreams. It might not be this one, it might not be a $40 million illegal empire, but whatever it is, just the steam to go for it.
Yeah.
Hi, Kristen and Kirby. So both of your roles, there were real physical demands in this too. Especially, Kirby, you had that dance scene, which I love. That was one of my favorite scenes. So I just wanted to know some details about that. Did you freestyle? Because listen, I know some dance moves, and you had it.
Yeah. I wish I could say I freestyled that whole thing, that I did it in one take, but I did have a choreographer that I worked with. That actually, the reason why I chose her is because I did a dance class in the park with her. My friend was like, my friend teaches this dance class in the park. Would you like to come? And I was like, sure, why not? What else are we doing? There's nowhere else to be. We're all outdoors and we're safe. And it was so fun. And actually what I really loved is when I've done dance classes in the past, it's been so much about like, you got to hit this and everyone's going to look the same and it's going to be perfect. But her dance was so much more about like, let's just have fun and just feel it. And I felt like when I got this script and saw that moment, I felt like that was the exact energy that was needed for that, which was this, she's so excited. She's so happy. She's on such a high. She just wants to have fun in that moment. And then Kristen had some severely challenging, I feel like, physical demands in this role.
Yeah, and a lot, which is always great as an actor when you put the time in, that were cut. So
yeah, a lot of it was cut. You were doing.
It's good.
She was race walking, like learn how to race walk, a lot.
Yeah, like had a coach come over every other day into my driveway. My kids were doing it with me, and they're like, "Why does it look so funny?" But the reality is, like, learning about race walking, it looks like the goofiest thing you could accomplish, but it's incredibly specific movements, and it's an incredibly the specificity of how their feet have to be. The sport is incredibly specific, and it is much, much harder than it looks because you're using both sprinting muscles and the like long-term running muscles at the same time. Is that what it's called? No.
But I know you mean it's long distance. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
there's different muscles that sprinters or long distance runners use, and you're using literally both of them
At the same time. So it is fatiguing, and it's a hard sport.
I personally like that the female leads don't resort to tearing each other down, even when things get super stressful. Was that always the plan, to have these two women love and support each other no matter what?
Yeah, that was definitely intentional. We talked early on when we were writing the script that it was really important that Aron and I were married, but we're also best friends, but also we have other friends that we've known for 20, 25 years that have gone on significant journeys and had tremendous obstacles. And really it was the obstacle they were fighting, not turning on each other. And that was the obstacle. So it was definitely intentional to do that. And it's very different than what a lot of comedies with, buddy comedies are like. So we tried to like change that up.
Usually in a buddy movie, like 2/3 of the way through, they have a big fight and they sort of like mope around for 5 minutes and then come back together. And we really wanted to avoid that cliche. And also, to us, it's friends lift each other up and don't. So that was something that we were definitely trying to avoid from the very beginning.
I would love to know if there's any fun facts that you could share about the film that maybe the audience does not know.
We could tell you about why we wrote this script. And
I have a fun fact that isn't in the movie, but I think you guys might find interesting is there's the TLC show Extreme Couponing that was on. The detective who dealt with the real investigation, he believed that the reason that show was able to have such big savings is because they were using coupons from these women that were counterfeiting them. And when they arrested these women, that show went off the air. So, and he actually attempted to try to prove that they were using counterfeit coupons from these women, but it never.
Well, the show shut down before he could.
He never sort of pursued it. But we always thought that was very interesting. That the show went away as soon as these women were arrested, the real women. That's my fun fact.
Yeah. It's not a fun fact. It is a fact, though, if that counts. And that would just be that we, in Hollywood, spent the last 7 years writing and trying to get our scripts made. And we had some successful scripts that we would get recognized in the industry, and then we would get an amazing cast attached to it. And then we'd go into rooms with studios and financiers, and they would say, listen, we love the script, we love the cast, but you guys have no value, so we can't give you money to finance your movie. And that kept happening over and over and over again for 7 years. And finally, we were like, well, how do we change our value in this industry? And we're known for more of our dramatic work, and before that, documentaries, and we came from journalism. And we said, let's find a comedy to write that is maybe a little bit more commercial and allows us to be able to tell a story that we feel is close and personal to us. And then what we ended up writing is a story about two women who feel undervalued and discounted in their lives and end up finding a loophole to succeed. And we feel like, thanks to Queenpins, we changed our value.
Hi, thanks for joining us.
Hey.
First, I'm a huge Bollywood fan. So I watch the Bollywood, I react to it on my YouTube channel. So, and when I saw, you two created like the Bollywood, the initiative to, bring Bollywood to more Hollywood movies. I just wanted to know a little bit about that and why you think that's important to mix the two.
Yeah, well, we're a pretty good combination. Aron's from rural Maine, and my family's from India, and we feel like we're stronger together because we're taking our two cultures and backgrounds and merging them to make interesting stories and tell stories about our lives. And we thought, what a great way to kind of take this to the next level, which is bringing Hollywood filmmakers to India to learn about what Bollywood is like, and vice versa, bringing Indian filmmakers to the United States and really getting them access to doors that weren't open to us when we first came. But now we can open those gates a little bit more to key decision makers to just help other artists succeed and not have to fight as much as we've had to over the past 7 years.
Hey guys, thanks for taking the time today. Thought the movie was
you.
super fun. Really enjoyed it. Great cast. Can you talk a little bit about bringing on people like Vince and Kristen?
Yeah, I mean, I think when we wrote the script, we didn't have anybody necessarily in mind for Connie. But then when somebody said Kristen Bell, we just knew that she would be great. And when we met with her and she had responded to the script, one of the first things she said to us was, when she's like, for some reason, even if my characters are doing criminal acts, breaking the rules, audiences still usually love me. And that was something that she recognized in herself and in her work, but we knew it was exactly what we needed for Connie. And then, she had worked with Kirby before, and, we met with Kirby and she just seems so perfect. And then Paul and Vince as well, when we met with them, they had a friendship going off camera before and had wanted to work together. So it really felt like both of those main duos were friends off camera, had this great chemistry, and we had just hoped that it would carry over into the movie. And we kind of think we're like the third buddy duo in the movie.
And also, in screenwriting, the love story, the B story of the movie is the love story usually. And we just wanted to try something more creative. And in this case, we thought, wouldn't it be fun if that B story was Vince and Paul's journey, which is oil and water. And then in the end, they end up really appreciating their friendship and valuing that friendship.
I wanted to know, was that a real Michael J. Fox quote? And if so, what made you guys want to include that piece in the film?
It is a real Michael J. Fox quote. And at some point we knew we wanted there to be this quote about family, and we were looking at different quotes, and we saw this one from Michael J. Fox, and we grew up both loving him, and our casting director, one of her first jobs was casting Family Ties, and it just felt like we miss that there's not more Michael J. Fox out there now, and it felt perfect. It felt like he would be in a movie like this, so it all just fits.
And also, at one point, the president of Mexico is President Fox, so we also thought it was really funny that this dialogue was also happening. It's like as JoJo's trying to figure out, wait, the actor. So it all just kind of felt like it played well into the comedy.
Hopefully he sees it.
We want Michael J. Fox to see this movie.
Thank you so much to all of my monetary supporters, my members here on YouTube, as well as my patrons. If you haven't joined yet, please consider doing so. We have some really awesome perks, including a monthly Zoom meeting where we get to talk face to face. Thank you again to everyone who supports me.